Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo Up, a podcast where we talk about pop music, specifically by deep diving a randomly chosen top 10 of some kind. Everybody knows we're the football connoisseurs. Cold Electric Blue, those diamond lights hard as stone. When they decided on Qatar should have checked VAR. We'll give all we've got for the folks back home. I'm Andy Robinson.
And I'm James Cook.
And which randomly selected UK top 10 chart are we looking at this week, James?
Well, two things. First of all, it's not random this week. And two, it's not a UK top 10 singles chart.
No.
It is very much a chart of our creation.
It's the first time since we've been doing this podcast we've had any agency of our own.
Apart from the bonus tracks episodes where we have a little bit of agency. But yes, you're absolutely right. Because to celebrate the start of the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup, we are doing a top 10 of football-related songs.
Football-related songs? Of course, there's loads of other football-related songs that have been in the charts and on music. That's very much the way it works, such as Vindaloo by Fat Les, Shout by Dizzy Rascal and James Corden, Head Over Heels by Kevin Keegan, Southgate's You're the One by Atomic Kitten, and arguably Sweet Caroline by Neil Diamond. All football classics, James.
Yes, but we're not covering any of those. We've picked quite a wide array of different styles, we think, and eras to talk about. Cards on the table. I love the World Cup and tournament football generally. In fact, so much so that I have done another podcast in the past called The World Cup of World Cups, which is available still if you want to have a look at it.
I've also got a bicycle I'm trying to sell on eBay. All that stuff.
All right. I mean, the intersection of pop music fans and football fans, is that a big bit of the Venn diagram, do you think?
Yeah, without going on too much, we started, didn't we, saying let's just do a World Cup record top 10. That seemed to make sense, and we realised that all essentially saying the same thing. So, as you say, we're trying to cover a broad array, just about football in general.
Yeah, and hopefully, even if you're not a football fan, there's enough here that's interesting for you. I've got some stats about this made-up chart of ours.
Well, we're doing football. I mean, hand in hand with statistics. Okay.
This special chart contains one UK number one, three UK top 20s, one UK top 100, and four songs that didn't chart at all, and one song that I'm not sure about. It might have charted, it might not have. We'll get into that as we go. There are three groups, three collabs, two solo artists, two squads, and a duo, 7 British artists, 2 British Caribbean artists, 1 Colombian/Nigerian artist, and 1 British/Argentinian/Belgian.
Comprehensive football song stats. By my reckoning, there are 5 songs about the complexities of sport and celebrating the teams. There are 2 songs about specific players, 1 song about the psychology of a referee, 1 song of a resigned yet gentle encouragement, and 1 song about lights like a diamond or something.
Yes, we're doing that one, guys.
Weirdly, there's only 2 examples of self-reference, I think, and there's only 1 key change. There's loads of references to others, though, so I'm pretty happy this week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You can check out our playlist. We've put a link to the Spotify and YouTube versions in the description. And there are no other songs on that playlist this week. The bonus tracks is taking a week off.
Yeah. They're injured, the bonus tracks.
You can still join our Patreon, though. Go to patreon.com/ShubiPodcast. There's literally about 100 hours of extra content.
I see no reason to hang around. It's coming home. At time of recording, at number 88 in the UK charts, it's Die Die by Shakira and Burna Boy.
Right, a couple of things. First of all, this is the most modern song we've covered.
We only chose this one because it is a song of the World Cup this year, so we thought it was a good idea to bring something new and relevant in. How relevant, we shall find out.
The official song of the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup, Die Die, which of course is Welsh for David. And David Davis used to be the head of the FA, so there's a football link there.
Yeah, straight away. Well done, Shakira. People say she doesn't know enough about football. There she's doing a song about David, though.
So this year's World Cup, brackets 2026, just in case people are watching this in the future, is for the first time being hosted across 3 different nations, Canada, Mexico, and the United States of America is the other one.
I've heard of it.
In the past, official songs have tried to encapsulate the host country in the official song. Do you think that Die Die does that?
Well, encapsulate the hosts of the world, I suppose. So, I mean...
Does it sound Canadian to you?
Not really. And it doesn't sound anything like it's got anything to do with football. So there's that too. Will this appeal to football fans, this record?
Oh, God, no. No, not to football fans. Football fans will hate this because they will hate anything that FIFA does. And FIFA has not got a great track record of choosing brilliant official songs for the World Cup, which has gone back to 1990 was the first time they ever did it. Only 4 FIFA official World Cup songs have ever made the UK top 100. I'll give you £1 million if you can name any of them.
I don't want pounds, I want pop points.
All right, I'll give you £1 million pop points if you can name any of them.
Official World Cup songs?
Yeah.
For some reason, I am strangely drawn to Enrique Iglesias.
Nope.
For some reason, I was just talking about my inner psyche then.
Okay.
Go on. You don't offer $1 million pop points freely, so go on, just tell me.
Okay, so the only 4 that have ever charted. In 1994, Daryl Hall and Sounds of Blackness, who are a choir, that's not John Oates using a different name, did a song called Gloryland, which got to number 36.
What was the host country that year? The States?
United States.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, yes, see if you can work out the host from the artist. All right, 1998, La Copa de la Vida by Ricky Martin got to number 29.
Portugal?
France. That was obviously.
I also would like to point out for regular listeners and viewers, Ricky Martin, 2 of my mum's friends.
2010, Waka Waka by Shakira featuring Freshly Ground got to number 21.
Colombia?
Nope. South Africa.
All right.
Of course, it was a cover version of a song originally by Fozzie Bear.
Was it?
No, I'm just a joke because it's called Waka Waka. And in 2014, We Are One brackets Olé Ola by Pitbull featuring Jennifer Lopez and Claudia Lette got to number 29.
What country was that representing?
Brazil.
All right. Now, Waka Waka on YouTube comments under this song. Loads of people are mentioning Waka Waka because Shakira, interestingly, according to Rachel Hoofs under the line, says, we can all agree Shakira is like Mariah Carey is for Christmas, but for the World Cup. Just leave World Cup songs to her.
I mean, yeah, she's done 2 official singles. She's also done a couple of songs that have featured on official albums in the past. So she's very much FIFA's go-to pop singer of choice. Shakira, and she does all right on this. It's a weird old song because the first time you hear it, go, well, this is a bit nothing. This is a bit by the numbers, but I've been listening to it all week, and now I've got into it.
Has it worked its way in?
Not really. It's not instantly. Football songs need to be instantly gettable, don't they? Because they're competing with chants. So, and this isn't that. I mean, it's got the oh eh. It's got a bit of that going on.
It's a 3-chorder. Let my guitar essentially. I think it's kind of just going over. That's the feel, isn't it? Essentially, you can put your own melodies over that. It goes round and round and round. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. How do you feel about the World Cup this year in general, James, as a avid fan?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, what would you point out to me, let's say, to keep an eye out for? What do you think is going? I know loads of people are moaning about the idea of it being halftime concerts with Madonna.
Only in the final.
Oh, so I think what you're moaning about, halftime concerts, great.
Oh, good, proper football men. They get very annoyed if you try to change anything ever.
So do you think there's some things to keep an eye out for, James, since we're talking about this World Cup and we only chose this record to talk about this World Cup, really?
Are you talking about the football itself or the cultural impact?
Anything you like. I'm all ears.
I think it's going to have less of a cultural impact despite it being a bigger. I mean, it is the biggest World Cup ever. It is a 48-country World Cup. That's up on 32, which it has been for the last 20-odd years, which means there's a lot more countries taking part. So it is a slightly more global event, but it means there are so many games. I think it's gone from 64 games to 104 games. And I'm a football fan and a fan of the World Cup, and that's too many games.
Okay.
Also, from a UK point of view, a lot of the games are going to be in the middle of the night. So there's less chance of you sitting around in the afternoon watching Uzbekistan versus New Zealand, because that's going to be at 3 a.m. And frankly, who round here is going to stay up for it? So I don't know if it's going to have the cultural impact of previous ones. In terms of football, there's a very good chance the football isn't going to be very good, because the top players are all knackered and they're making them play in really hot countries in the middle of the day in June and July.
Yes.
And as I say, there are too many games. So who knows? Maybe it will be chaotic and brilliant. Maybe some players will take it by the scruff of the neck and make it a memorable one. But if I was to guess, I'd guess it's probably going to be one for the purists.
Okay. How do you feel about they've introduced the multi-ball rule?
Yeah, okay.
No, be all right. Everything.
Well, it does have multi-ball now. All football has multi-ball at top flight because they have them on the cones around.
You know what I mean.
The game can start again.
You know what I mean. I'd love multi-ball. Just try it once in a World Cup final.
That's the time to try stuff, isn't it? Flagship game that happens every 4 years. Some football fans who like to virtue signal quite a lot, who they didn't watch any of the Qatar World Cup for political reasons, which I get. They've also said, I'm not watching any of this World Cup as well. And I'm like, well, I'm going to watch it because they're going to do it anyway. And also, I'm not going to buy any official FIFA merchandise, although I have streamed the official song about 10 times in the last week.
So that's earned Shakira 2p.
Yeah, so I'm part of the problem.
And Burner Boy, I forgot all about him. What's going to be confusing around here, I think, when the flags are going up.
I know.
I think the council's going to be, we're not sure what to do about this one.
FIFA are doing everything they can to absolutely destroy the World Cup in a desperate attempt to make more money.
All right.
And the issue is that may end up killing the cash cow. So if you think this World Cup's mental, wait till you see what's going on in the next one. Anyway, Shakira and Burner Boy. Don't get me ranting about football. That's very much a different podcast, I think.
But this is the World Cup record for this year, James. What else are we going to talk about? I've got an idea what else we can talk about. Looking ahead, oh my God.
All right. Who wins this 6-4?
Huh?
Who wins 6-4? I'm just trying to put a football score on it.
I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
Who wins 6-4?
Are these the lyrics?
No.
Shakira wins 6-4.
She does. Yes. She has 6 UK top 10s and Burner Boy has 4.
My apologies.
Who wins 2-1?
Burner Boy.
No, it's Shakira.
Oh, man.
Shakira has 2 UK number ones. Burner Boy only has 1.
Yeah.
Shakira's from
Colombia,
who are in Group K.
Right.
Burner Boy is from
Do not know.
Nigeria,
Okay.
who did not qualify. Die. Do you know what that phrase actually is? It is Italian slang for come on.
Okay.
Which group are Italy in?
I don't know.
They did not qualify.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, that's strangely satisfying. I'm going to go put some flags up. Sorry, mate.
The song is in 5 different languages: English, Spanish, Italian, French, and Japanese.
So it does represent the World Cup. You're moaning about it getting bigger and all that. So it's doing it.
Yeah, but that only covers 25 of the 48 qualifying nations.
Mm.
How many other languages would they have had to put in to cover all the other countries in the World Cup?
Ballpark, another 23.
Another 12
Okay.
would have covered it all. Arabic, German, Croatian, Portuguese, Czech, Persian, Dutch, Norwegian, Korean, Swedish, Turkish, and Uzbek. They just needed more verses. Do you know who wrote this song?
Shakira.
Yep.
Yeah. Burner Boy.
Yep.
Glenn Hoddle.
No, there is someone representing England, though.
Okay, who?
Ed Sheeran.
Of course. As I mentioned, it's 3 chords that go round and round. And there he is. You know what?
But yeah, it's worked its way in there. I don't mind it now.
Okay, that's good.
I'm not going to go out of my way to listen to it. But if they sing this, they'll probably sing this at the opening ceremony. If they do it at the halftime show in the World Cup final, it's going to annoy a lot of people.
I mean, it's football, isn't it? I've seen football fans get annoyed at the mind. It's going to happen, isn't it? I suppose I liked it in the end because it had nothing to do with football. It seemed to be joyous. And as you say, it's FIFA getting it wrong a little bit. It's the commercialisation of football is always weird, isn't it? I sort of remember that 90s, really, when people started talking football and soccer and all this kind of thing, I don't know what a typical football fan is anyway.
You can't speak for all the fans because you're talking about the majority of the population of the world.
Yeah.
You say it's got nothing to do with football. That's not true, is it, Andy?
Because of the final lyrics.
Yes. A lot of footballers get name-checked.
Go on.
Pele, Maradona, Maldini, Romario, Cristiano, Ronaldo. El Pibe. Who's El Pibe?
I have no idea.
Carlos Valderrama. He used to play for Colombia. Do you remember him?
Fellow with the hair.
Big hair guy.
Yeah.
Iniesta, Beckham, Ikaka, Messi, Mbappe, Salah, and then she just names a bunch of countries. How many of those players have won the World Cup?
Out of those, about 15 players you mentioned.
Yeah.
8.
4.
I'm doubling. I'm getting it. I'm always doubling it.
Pele, Maradona, Romario, and Iniesta. I think in future, just halve what your guess was going to be.
All right, then.
And also in the official video. You watch the video?
Hey, did you watch the video? Yes, that's for new viewers and listeners. That's how, for some reason, we asked that question. It was good. I mean, I like watching Shakira.
It's got a bunch of footballers at the start.
Yeah.
Including Harry Kane. And I think it's very funny when Harry Kane tries to do anything media-wise.
Why?
He's just a bit awkward.
I used to feel like that about Peter Crouch, and now look at him.
It's a number 1 from 1970. It's Back Home by the 1970 England World Cup squad.
An archetypal football record, I'm going to say.
Well, in many ways, the first football.
Well.
I mean, it wasn't, but the first one to be a number 1, the first one to be culturally significant in the UK.
Who wrote this song?
Well, of course, it's a song about England, so it was written by a Scottish bloke and an Irish bloke.
Yeah, we talked about that in the past. And yet, they really convey the spirit of what it's like to arrive back in Blighty.
Well, that's what it is. The focus of this football song is we're doing it for the fans back home because, we've got to go abroad, where it's all foreign and that.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Got a touch of that, hasn't it? Yeah.
There's foreigners here, not like back home.
Is there a greater summation of the English spirit?
Yeah. And just like the song we talked about previously, this is for a World Cup that was in Mexico, the 1970 World Cup, where England went as champions, of course.
Yeah. Championes, I think you say in football parlance.
And what happened?
In my knowledge of the 1970 World Cup was famously Alf Ramsey substituted Bobby Charlton in the semi-finals. He shouldn't have took him off. Germany went on to come from behind, and that seems to be the story of England in 1970 at least.
Yeah, I mean, quarterfinal. But yes, you're absolutely right. I will do that. I am really annoying. Yeah, it didn't work out for England, and thus began the years of hurt. And we'll get into that.
30 years of hurt?
Well, it isn't though, is it? Because you're not hurt when you win. You hurt when you lose the next one. The maths of 3 lines is we'll get onto that.
Yeah, a little spoiler. We are doing a version of 3 lines at number 1.
Are we counting down these? Is this at number 9?
Yeah, number 9 for some reason.
Okay. All right. So previous to the 1966 World Cup, people didn't really care about the Football World Cup beyond hardcore football fans. So much so that one of the games at the 1966 World Cup that was supposed to be at Wembley was moved to a different venue because they had the greyhound racing on.
Okay.
And they were like, we're not moving that just for some bloody World Cup. But then England win it, and then it's suddenly, oh no, actually, we're really into it because we won it. And 1970s, the year when colour TV comes in, and so people are watching it in colour for the very first time, and it's bright and it's sunny, and the team that ends up winning it are wearing golden shirts, and they look fantastic. And that kind of begins the myth of the World Cup, I think, certainly in the British football fans' popular imagination.
Are you relating the World Cup to the snooker? That it's only good when it's in colour on the television.
Well, it's better, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's better. I mean,
apart from films, they're black and white, obviously.
it's one of the records with a key changing.
Yes, it does have a key change.
Yeah.
And how do you feel that the squad, because it's sung very much like Bananarama, sung by everyone all the time, all together, the entire squad. How do you feel they do vocally?
Whatever your ideas of a football record, we didn't hear a group of men. Everyone on YouTube, I like this on YouTube comments, everyone's saying about this squad that they all look 45, all the players, and they all look old.
Yeah, do you know why that is?
No, go on.
Life in the past was really hard.
Right. Okay. I liked it. I mean, as you say, the lyrics are what they are. Back home, they'll be watching and waiting and cheering every move. Great.
Will we, though? Will we? Or will we be moaning?
Probably be moaning.
Yeah.
So, you know, as you say, I mean, I can't argue with it because, as we say, it might be the first football record in big inverted commas first, but you know what I mean.
And not just this single, Andy, because they did a whole album. The World Beaters Sing the World Beaters is the name of the album.
That's ballsy, isn't it?
Yep. And Back Home, which isn't really about football, but kind of is the only sort of tangentially football-related song. They do cover versions of Sugar Sugar, Obla Di Obla Da, Lily the Pink, and a Latin American take on Puppet on a String, which is basically a sort of mariachi instrumental with the squad shouting things like Arriba over the top and giggling.
Sounds good. I mean, it's got that umpire thing, hasn't it? You know, that's what the Puppet on a String and all them records you mentioned they're covered. I mean, that's in some ways, maybe Shakira and Burna Boy should have used a more umpire beat.
Why do you think it sounds like Puppet on a String?
Same writers.
Same writers, indeed. And congratulations as well, same writers.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It says, I can't be bothered to play. You know how it goes Back Home. Yeah, so it's got that feel, hasn't it, which I always associate with football. Papa from Oliver, that could be a football song. It's certainly chantable. And
ironically, we put out an umpire song and then got beat by West Germany. We should, by the way, mention the writers by name, Bill Martin and Phil Coulter. Do you want to talk about some of the people who sing on this?
Please.
Who do you know? Which players can you remember from this?
Gordon Banks was in there.
Gordon Banks has a tangential relationship to pop music.
Also, was it 1970 World Cup when Gordon Banks did that save? Or I've just made that up. So there's that as well.
What's his relationship to pop music?
I'm excited with this fact. I don't know.
His nephew is the drummer in Pulp.
You told me that before and I forgot. Oh, a nice one.
Which member of the 1970 England World Cup squad has the middle name Chelsea?
I do not know.
Bobby Moore.
Does he?
Yeah, apparently so.
I met Bobby Moore once when I was a young boy, James.
Yes.
Yes. I went to a football. Yeah, there's something called the Bobby Moore's football school or something in the summer. I found myself sitting next to Bobby Moore one lunchtime in a canteen. And I asked him,
could you pass me the peas?
No.
No.
He was very good.
I mean, it would have been a hell of a pass.
It would have been good.
Yeah.
I said, was it good playing in the World Cup final? And he went, yeah. and then we moved on.
And that was your chance.
That's my chance.
Every terrible, cheesy football song you've ever heard owes a debt of thanks to Back Home.
A former number 12 from 1987. It's Glenn and Chris with Diamond Lights.
Yeah, they're very much the opposite of Daryl Hall and John Oates in that they don't want to use their full name for some reason. It's almost like they want anonymity for this.
Yeah, that's true. If you're a regular listener, viewer, you know that Daryl Hall and John Oates, for some reason, like to be called by the full name, don't they? Not so much Glenn and Chris. Hoddle, waddle, twaddle, as I heard Billy Bragg sing about once. How can we mention Billy Bragg later as well?
So do you think they got put together just because their names rhyme?
If they did, they didn't take full advantage of it, as we've mentioned. I don't know. They're pretty, weren't they? Tottenham was a sexy team at that time, I seem to remember. I mean, they were handsome young men. We could have thrown a few in, as I mentioned. We could have done Kevin Keegan, Head Over Heels, In Love. Johan Cruyff, you sent me one by.
Yes, which is awful.
Awful.
Really bad. Andy Cole did one.
Yes. Paul McGrath.
Paul McGrath did a whole album
Of covers, didn't he? So the footballer doing, let's call it a straight song.
Yeah, because this has got nothing to do with football unless...
Nothing to do with music.
Unless it's like the diamond formation.
Oh, yeah, that's a point.
Could be
Do you like the song?
Do I like it? No. I think it's quite bad, but I'm quite fond of it.
All right.
Because of its naff cheesiness.
I think it's a dirge, this record.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So, all right then. So that doesn't matter. Number 12. And not only are they better than football, they've also sold more records than us, James. Hey, is it time to bring Nile Rodgers in this week?
Oh, he will love being associated with this song.
We need an equivalent of Nile Rodgers. What we usually say is Nile Rodgers said any record that gets in the top 40 must be pretty good because people have connected with it. What's a football equivalent?
What about Niall Quinn?
Okay. What does he say?
And Morgan Rogers.
Okay. Like you say, leave Glenn and Chris alone.
Yeah.
All right.
They played for England. It's fine.
It's 80s. It's very 80s, isn't it? A lot of people.
So 80s.
So 80s.
It's like if someone wrote a parody of an 80s song, this is what it would sound like.
People were saying, and YouTube comments, it reminded them of Depeche Mode. It reminded them of Tears for Fears.
What?
Someone said, it makes me think of Voyage, Voyage by Desireless, which I only mentioned because we covered that in one of our old episodes. So listen to that.
It reminds me of the song One Track Lover from Garth Marenghi's Dark Place that Matt Berry sings.
Okay.
I think that's the closest thing to Diamond Lights. Have you seen the clip of them on Top of the Pops?
No. What I learned on YouTube was the video. Did you watch video?
Yes, I did watch the video. Yes.
Now, people were saying in the comments on YouTube, part of the reason they were on Top of the Pops is because the video, which we'll talk about, is so bad.
Yes, it was made for about 12 quid.
Yeah, Top of the Pops refused to show it. So, no, I haven't seen it. I feel I've seen it over the years, clips of it, because it's always used, isn't it? This record is an example of something.
It's an example to others.
Yeah, so, go on, why?
Chris Waddle said about the Top of the Pops performance that it was the most embarrassing moment of his life.
He's not into it, is he, Chris? Yeah. Glenn's natural.
And bearing in mind, he missed a penalty in a World Cup semi-final. Glenn Hoddle said the Top of the Pops experience was the best experience of his life. You just get the impression that he's into it way more than Chris Waddle is.
And in the video, I don't know, he's more natural performer, isn't he? As Klinsman on YouTube says, not enough people perform with one hand in their pocket.
Yeah. Alanis Morissette, that's the only one I can think of. There was a follow-up single, so they're not a one-hit wonder.
That's good.
It was called It's Goodbye, which got to number 92. There you go. Yeah. Glenn Hoddle was grandfather clock on the 2021 series of The Masked Singer. When interviewing Glenn Hoddle for the position of manager of the England team, the chief executive of the FA, Graham Kelly, said to him, "Have you got any skeletons in your closet apart from that record with Chris Waddle?" This is not the only duet that Chris Waddle has been a part of.
Really?
Yes. When he was at Marseille, released a single with the French defender Basile Boli, which is way more fun than this. It's called We've Got a Feeling. And allegedly, it got to number 1 in Albania. It didn't. They're telling people that.
Good idea.
Yeah.
This is the most popular podcast in Albania as well, isn't it? So why not?
Why is Chris Waddle the modern day Samson?
Because he was not as good when he had his haircut.
Bing. That's right.
Yeah.
He had a lovely mullet, didn't he?
Mm.
And then he decides to get it cut before the semi-final against West Germany, in which he misses a penalty.
Oh.
And what does it have in common with I'm in the Mood for Dancing by the Nolans?
I don't know. Same writers?
Same writer.
Really?
Bob Pusey.
Okay.
And what are the Diamond Lights of which they sing?
I do not know. Some things are good to be a mystery, but please spoil it for me.
It's his wife's eyes. Diamond Lights is a bit more poetic, isn't it, than Bob's wife's eyes?
I don't know. I'm not sure it is.
It did not chart when it was released in 1979. It's West Bromwich Albion by Ray King.
I chose this one, James.
Go on, tell me all about it.
I thought we should choose a record that is just about a team saying how great they are. Since we've got, there's loads of them in the realm of football records. We haven't got so many in this top 10, so much to say. I thought, whilst we're choosing one of them, why not go for the mighty West Bromwich Albion, saying how great they are, essentially, this record, isn't it? It's a calypso beat. In the past, Albion fans, there's a lot of football fans have sung, and it's West Bromwich Albion FC. We're by far the greatest team the world has ever seen, which is that's a claim, isn't it? This is more, what about Brazil 70, lads? So,
yeah. But what about all the objective facts?
Yeah, so there's that song. We will follow the Albion over land and sea and water. I always thought that's confusing, since sea is water. Anyway,
Well, it could be like salt water and fresh water, couldn't it?
You're quite right. When I had a deep analysis, I thought it's okay.
Because if someone hears you'll follow West Bromwich Albion over land and sea, people might be thinking, what about lakes?
And water.
Are you just going to stop when they get to a lake?
Yeah. So this record, I loved at the time. I never had it because, I haven't mentioned Rapua, join our Patreon, etc. But it was on blue vinyl. Some of my friends had it. I used to play it a lot. Also, Ray King's got a calypso beat, hasn't it? It's on Spotify. Listen to it on our playlist and watch the video. Lovely little song. If you like West Brom, I suppose you're going to be more open to it.
Do you know what it reminded me of?
Go on.
The music in Paddington.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. If you've seen the movies Paddington and Paddington 2, you'll know exactly what I mean. It's that vibe. It's upbeat. It's positive. It's quite nice and pleasant. I'm not a West Brom fan.
I was hoping you'd choose a Villa song, but you absolutely didn't want it, did you? For some reason.
There aren't really many. The best I could find was that Paul McGrath one, okay. Which we're not doing. I guess it's appropriate to be a calypso beat because in the song, it's 1979, and in the song, the three players he mentions by name are Cyril Regis, Laurie Cunningham, and is it Batson? Brendan
Batson, yeah. The B-side, which is called Oh, 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 he goes on to name almost the whole squad. He mentions people like John Truick and Len Cantello. That's a buzz if you're a football fan.
I'm a big fan of roll calls in songs generally.
Yeah. So I suppose I just say the cultural significance of West Bromwich Albion in the late 70s when I was a proper fan and I used to go with my dad and all that stuff. I mean, we would call West Brom in the late 70s with Ron Atkinson, with them three players especially, and just being great in general.
And what were their nicknames, those players?
Ron Atkinson later went on to describe them, or at the time, as the 3 degrees, which is different to how he described a French player once, I remember.
Yes.
I felt sorry for Ron Atkinson, like he got sacked for racism. When you think, well, come on, look at the late 70s.
But also, he did say a racist thing. He can be both. And he managed the Villa for a while.
Can you say racist things and not be a racist, though, James? Should we save it for another podcast?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, hell, we're talking about football and football fandom, particularly in the late 70s. There was a lot of that going on. The National Front were trying to co-opt football fans as a sort of way as a recruiting tool at that point. And there was, the first sort of black players in the English First Division back then, and still today get awful abuse from certain members of the crowd. I think there's less of it now than there was. But that's not to say that it doesn't happen. I was watching. Have you watched Dear England? This thing the BBC have put out.
I intend to. Is it good?
There are 2 episodes out so far. I don't know if that's it. I don't know if it's finished. It is brilliant. I really enjoyed it, and they cover that in the context of things that happened to the England team very, very recently.
Well, at the time, this record and the Albion thing that I supported, it was a form of pride. Really, it was a little bit like some of my best supported team players are black. You could do that a little bit. So, I was all for it. And I love Laurie Cunningham. I love Cyril Regis. Brendan Batson was a defender, so he's not as appealing in some ways. But, they're great. Yeah.
And football, I mean, meritocracy is a dodgy term, I think. But football is judged by objective results.
Yes.
Right. And you look at who is in the teams, right, to get the best results, and it is way more diverse than most company boards are, or
not sexually though.
No, that's true, but there are also women's teams now. I don't know if you've heard of them.
What? When did this start?
So in some ways,
Yeah.
Football fandom was very, very regressive, particularly in the 70s and 80s and still today. But football as an industry is actually quite progressive
Okay.
in terms of inclusion.
So bringing that up, let's just mention the 3 degrees. God bless them all.
Is that all right to use as a nickname?
Yes.
For the 3 black players?
Yeah.
What other 3 black people do we know that we can just say they're the same as? Is that right?
Oh, I liked it. This was good. In the 70s, the 3 degrees turned up to one game. That was good. And all the, seeing I remember seeing they all turned up in their fur coats. 3 degrees. They're all so glamorous. There was a degree of being love struck amongst the fans. And and when Elton John turned up, he didn't get the same amount of love and respect as the 3 degrees.
Did they wear fur coats because the temperature was 3 degrees?
Yes, good one. Also, so this was interesting, I thought. And then I was thinking about West Bromwich Albion. I mean, you could do it. In this case, we're talking about West Brom. They're famous, of course, for the Liquidator, that Harry J and the All-Stars team. They play that record. So, football fans being the way they are, Harry J and the All-Stars, the record's going do, 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 then beautiful river. Fuck off, Wanderers, West Brom. So, arguably, that song, that record, that instrumental is both enhanced and detracted by the swearing and the local hatred, which I'd never liked about football. Also, they play Faithless, the sleep one.
I can't get no.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
That's the one. The Lord is my shepherd, Psalm 23.
Wow.
The fans sing a lot for whatever reasons that might be. So music and football is tied together, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that famous footage of the Liverpool cop in the 60s singing She Loves You.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
And, people often say about stand-up comedians, we're stand-up comedians, by the way, that, we must be very brave. But actually, I don't think either of us are as brave as the first person at a football game who started singing.
Yeah.
That was a stretch, wasn't it? The first person who was like, guys, I think we should all sing a song together.
I'm going to start to chant, absolutely. I admire these people and find them a bit annoying sometimes. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I know if I ever tried to start a chant, it would go nowhere. I'd do the first line and everyone would just look at me and then I'd just end up sitting down again. Yeah. There's a confidence to that.
I agree.
Isn't there? I'd be asking around going, do you guys know Guantanamera? Huh? So I changed the words a little bit.
So I looked into some of it, don't you? Because famous musicians who support West Bromwich Albion. Do you know any?
I can think of someone who's had a couple of number 1 hits, but
who supports West Brom?
Yeah,
Frank Skinner.
Yeah,
we're doing him. Oh, I'll give you a clue. This is very specific to this podcast, James. One celebrity musician who's a fan of West Bromwich Albion originally had Destiny's Child as his backing vocalist.
Oh, what's his name? Not Matthew McFadden. I get him mixed up, don't I? What's his name?
Matthew Marsden.
Matthew Marsden, that's him. Yeah.
He's one. Eric Clapton.
He's a West Brom fan.
Apparently. Well, I don't know. This in fact, because on one of his albums, Backless, I think from 1978, he wears a West Bromwich Albion scarf on that thing. He's been mentioned. Also, in about the late 70s, I went to an Eric Clapton concert because it was a testimonial for John Weil, who's a central defender. So he's enough. And also, beautifully at that gig, Alexis Sale was supporting Eric Clapton. Again, I went with my dad because it was Albion and Eric Clapton, I suppose. Dad rock. And then Alexis Sale died terribly doing the support act. And people were going, fuck off, football fans. And he was really cool. He was going, well, it's been lovely to be here. And he stayed on a bit longer because it's And then luckily, a bit later on, I had the good fortune to support Alexis Sale. And I said to him, I remember you. You were the first comedian I saw, really. I was 10 years old. I said, I saw you at John Wile's testimonial supporting Eric Clapton. He started laughing immediately at the memory. And I was going, no, it was really good. Obviously, it was an experience for him. So that was good. It's got celebrity fans, I think, West Brom. And then I thought it was Ronnie Wood one. So I Googled a few things. I also learned that Leslie Crowther and Percy Thrower were Albion fans on the internet. Betty Boothroyd and Robin Asquith. Yeah.
There's a film waiting to happen. Confessions of a Speaker.
Of course. You know, comedian-wise, Frank Skinner, Joe Lycett and Lenny Henry, all professed Albion fans. And then also Julie Walters, Cat Dealey and Josie Lawrence. This was great. So I was thinking, I never knew all these were Albion fans. Then get this, James. Further down the website, it mentioned my name.
Hey!
Right. And then whoever wrote it said, he's faded into oblivion now. I was like, what? And then I
That's
looked
what
up,
this is.
then I looked up oblivion. Do you know what oblivion means? Forgotten and extinct.
Oh.
So there I was looking. I loved it, actually. Tom Hanks is a Villa fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
What's Villa fans, celebrity Villa fans of you guys?
Prince William.
Oh, of course. Of course. Why?
He can choose who he wants, I think. I mean, if he's a glory hunter, he's doing a weird way of doing it.
I'm also going to chuck out Liam Payne, R.I.P., thank you for your contribution. Steve Winwood, Nearly All of the Beat, and the drummer from Dodgy, and Pete Williams, who used to be in Dexys, was a fantastic solo artist. All Albion fans and music related, so, you know, there's that.
All right, you win that one.
Floella Benjamin as well. It never charted, it was never a single, but here we are with maybe one of the most unique football songs ever. It's The Referee's Alphabet by Half Man, Half Biscuit.
This is from the 2002 Half Man, Half Biscuit album, Camel Laird Social Club, where it sits between the tracks If I Had Possession Over Pancake Day and She's in Broadstairs. And it was you, Andy Robinson, who introduced me to, well, not only to Half Man, Half Biscuit, but to this song.
You are welcome. Yeah, I mean, Half Man, Half Biscuit, if you don't know, and you have a certain mentality, I'm going to say check them out because they're a genius. Nigel, what's his name?
Yes, Nigel Blackwell.
Blackwell, my apologies, Nigel. Thank you for everything you've done. So they're great. They're unique English folk songs, loads of contemporary references. And they do a few songs about football. So this is one we chose, isn't it, James, for this week?
Yeah, Nigel Blackwell was a Tranmere Rovers fan. How did that potentially curtail the career of Half Man, Half Biscuit?
Famously, Half Man, Half Biscuit never appeared on the word because the legend goes that Tranmere Rovers were playing and they'd rather watch that. And if that is true or not, it doesn't matter because it helped their legend, I feel.
Well, it's because Tranmere Rovers used to play on a Friday night. Why?
I don't know.
Because either Everton or Liverpool would be playing on the Saturday and the police couldn't stretch to both. So they'd always put Tranmere Rovers on a Friday night.
See, so you've immediately got a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah. And that's if you were in Liverpool, that is the cool club to support in it, although they're the Wirral rather than Liverpool.
Okay.
And I heard in that rumour it was the Tube that they didn't appear on because of...
What did I say? The word?
The word.
My apologies. I meant the Tube. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. They're the same, essentially.
Yes.
And
do you know, I had to cross London the other day and caught the word.
Hey. So this song, Referee's Alphabet, it is, he goes through the alphabet and for each letter he says something to do with refereeing, and it's from the point of view of a referee.
Over a strong acoustic guitar, there's bird noises going on in the background. It's strange and beautiful.
Yes, I think that's a really good description of it. Yeah, strange and beautiful. And listening to it now, obviously there have been a lot of changes in football refereeing in recent years, and that has made some of the lyrics from this song from 24 years ago not outdated, but from a different time. For example, H is for handball, which has to be intentional and very rarely is, if only people would study the rules more, which is, of course, what the handball rule was for hundreds of years until they recently changed it to the problem with football is not corruption, it's not racism, it's the fact that defenders have arms. And they go around flaunting their arms by their side, and if the ball ever brushes against them, you have to give a penalty. Now, I hate what they've done to the handball rule.
Yeah.
So,
Don't you think it makes it simpler?
No, the handball rule there is to stop people acting like a goalkeeper when they're not. It's not for when a striker blasts the ball at you from a yard away and it hits your arm.
I see. How do
Because
you
it's
feel
like,
about...
what are you supposed to do with your arm? Is it supposed to fall off? Are you supposed to not have arms?
While we're talking about refereeing changes then, that's never mentioned from this record from years ago, how do you feel about VAR?
Well, M is for the mistakes we sometimes make. Surely a bit of controversy is part of the game's appeal.
Yes.
As the
No,
song goes.
I'm right into that. There was I can't remember, you'll tell me, James, because you know it, that back in the day, there was a famous goal scored where it hit the stanchion at the back. All the cameras could see it.
And it bounced out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people saying, this is why we need. But I love the idea that a referee on the bad day can see a goal go in and allow it. I mean, I think, I like it. It's in the warp and weft, isn't it? I think.
So the hand of God as well. Do you include that in that?
Yes, I would include that in there. I mean, you know, the obviously England fans are cheating and then he scored the greatest goal ever and blah, 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 blah. But I think it might be part of the game, absolutely.
And Harold Schumacher jumping into Patrick Battiston, breaking 3 of his vertebrae and making him lose a load of teeth.
What's that got to do with VAR? And what was that allowed?
There was no free kick. He was not sent off.
Yeah, right. Well, you know.
Is that all right? I'm just asking. These are the things. I've done a lot of research into old football for various reasons.
For that podcast you mentioned at the beginning, check it out again. We'll put that link in. It's good.
Well, I would say this, Andy. I stopped doing that podcast 3 years ago. Why am I still watching the videos? But so my opinion of VAR is it's a good idea being done badly.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing to have VAR, particularly at the World Cup or, you know, high stakes games, because football is a game of very, very narrow margins. It's a low scoring game. So refereeing mistakes can have a huge impact on the results of the game.
Yeah.
And when players and managers and teams and fans are working constantly to try and win a football game, to then have it taken away from them by a whim feels really, really harsh. When you can go, actually, we can see immediately, you know, with the stanchion goal, we can see immediately that that's a goal.
All right.
However, what VAR is actually being used for is nitpicking and stopping the game and checking everything to within a millimetre. And it shouldn't be for that. It should be for the blatant.
I see.
But how do you judge what is blatant and what isn't?
I don't know. Like you say, VAR, very much, you know, good idea.
But if controversy is part of the game's appeal, VAR is incredibly controversial. So therefore, VAR is part of the appeal?
All right. We're all good then. Everything's all right. Oh, this is my favourite. G's for the gnarled face of someone who's on £90,000 a week and reckon they should have had a throw-in. Oh, man, there's so many.
Yeah.
L is for lip reading, which you don't need to be an expert to see how odious some people are.
Q is for the quiet word I sometimes need to have with some of the more fiery participants. I usually choose the word pleat. That's not the only instance of the word pleat in this top 10.
I'm glad you've mentioned that, James. Look forward to part 2 already. R is for running backwards, a difficult skill which the pundits never seem to appreciate. That made me think. That old quote about Ginger Rogers doing everything Fred Astaire, Frank Sinatra Astaire did, but backwards in the heels. That's true of a referee.
The Y is for Yate, the kind of town referees come from. This is such a brilliantly observed bit of comedy.
Yeah, when you're wondering about how you're going to do the X represents a sarcastic kiss planted on my forehead by the swarthy Portuguese centre-half. I mean, it's so evocative, these words are. It's an amazing bit of poetry, I think.
And the Z, well, the Z could be for Zidane, Zico, Zola, Zubizarreta and Zoff. Of those 5 footballers mentioned, which is the only one that doesn't have a tangential link to pop songs?
Now, that's a good question. Zidane has.
Why?
Which song was that? I can't remember, but I can remember his name popping up in the lyric.
There are 2 songs. There's one called Zinedine Zidane by the rapper Bems. And the Australian band Vaudeville Smash do a song called Zidane, which is basically a big list of footballers.
Zola, of course, the Kinks did in the 60s.
Yes, but I mean, there was a chant at Chelsea when he was there, Gianfranco Zola. But the Irish indie band Wonder Villains do a song called Zola, and he's in the video. He shows
cool.
up in the video.
Cool. I'm guessing it'll be not Zoff or Zondervan, but the Zubriazeta for whatever reason.
I couldn't find any pop relation to Zubizarreta, the old Spanish goalkeeper. Zico, there's a South Korean rapper called Zico.
Okay.
And I had to listen, and one of the songs is really good. I've added it to my favourites.
I like when that happens.
I really liked it. I want to mention the song. It was called I Am You, You Are Me by Zico, is really good. And Zoff, there are two bands. There's a German 1980s rock band called Zoff, of course there is, and the Zoffs are a British indie rock band who are right. But you mentioned even Zondervan, who's probably got the most references in pop.
Is that right?
His first name is?
Don't know.
Romeo, who shows up in a lot of pop records.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we discussed this in a little break when we were doing. I was saying we could just run through all the, but go and check it out. I mean, it's unique, it's beautiful, it's poetic, and it gives you an insight into. There's no other records about the psychology of a referee.
Well, coming up in part 2 of this made-up chart of ours, celebrating the start of the World Cup with some football-related pop songs. You might be thinking, well, yes, you've covered England singing Back Home. When are you going to give Scotland a mention? That is coming in part 2. You might be thinking, Andy's gone on about West Bromwich Albion. When are you going to mention Wolverhampton Wanderers? That's coming up in part 2 as well. And a bunch of songs that make me cry.
As always, you can listen to these songs, please, on the playlist we chuck out, chant along to them if you want. And support this podcast. You know what we're asking you to do. Everyone asks you at the end of it. Rate, subscribe, support, follow, share, comment below. And in the meantime, shooby dooby doo up.
Bop bop shoo up.